Father of Tribes here with a tribal call for all. Gonna read to you a Chandra symbol for the full moon on May 10th at 20 degrees Scorpio, which is known as a serpent wrapped around an immense egg. They're saying this might give a hint as to what might unfold under this full moon energy. Here we go. Bearing deeply an entirely different future for yourself and everybody, condemned to hold this off, preserve it, keep it warmed through, not break into it until the signal is given. This is a punishing ordeal, for you know inside a different kind of reality and bear it directly within, but still you must live as if without it. This eventuates in a barren world, an outwardly determined existence in which things must be endured just about forever. You're testing yourself, making sure that you are worthy to bear your great treasure across the abyss. Do you have the forces to be steady, implacable, sound and reliable, and not turn negative and become resentful, martyr? Do you know how to do the right thing, even when you do not quite feel it inside? Deep at the core of your being, incredible things are completely and utterly alive, and they will come through when you have fully overcome the old karmas and shown yourself to be strong, clear, and true, even in a divided world that is past fixated, and at the end of its cycle, hanging on a bit too long. There you have it. Catch you on the inside of your reading. What's shaking, air tribes? Rev J here. Just wanted to do a full moon in Scorpio reading for all y'all. It's a tribal call for the air element. So if your sun, moon, and or rising sign are in one of the air signs, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, this reading's for you. Alright, so just do things a little bit different. I've already shuffled and dealt, and just to save on time, it's kind of a bonus reading for me. And I've got like a ton of spirit messages here. The cards were really chatty, and the number 6 might be of importance to some of you all. It's been like showing up a lot, and actually in the center of your reading, using my Crowley deck, the Thoth deck, we've got the Victory card, the 6 of Wands, and it's interesting, they're showing me the same thing again. I hadn't noticed this before, but I had actually just cut the Earth Tribes readings. You might have Earth in your chart, some strong Earth element, but there were some indications about forgiveness, and there was something about birds, and I'm being told about birds of a feather here, and they're just pointing to me these 2 birds that are the wings that are on the end of the 2 wands in the center there, and I'm hearing birds of a feather. And there's a lot of indication in the energies here about karmic relationships. I actually wanted to get a little bit of a lens on some of the karmic implications that might have a bearing on the things that come up in this full moon. And actually the karmic relationship card actually came out. That's the card that showed up for all of the air tribes. So they say a lot of this has to deal with partnerships and alliances, and I'm hearing about some things where they're showing me birds of a feather, and I'm hearing about some crossroads that happened recently where people were kind of parting ways, but they're showing me, like, you know, the middle of the road where things meet. And we're hearing a lot about unrequited love, and I'm hearing a lot about third-party situations. in this situation, we're seeing really beautiful love that's happening here. It's a pretty hot card here. This is the Three of Chalices, aka your Three of Cups card, that's showing up as the energy that is thick in your mix right now, air tribe. So interesting opportunities. I am, however, hearing about unrequited love. They were showing me something. I was hearing, I actually got the words here. Yeah, they're telling me you might be dealing with somebody that's got a lot of, I'm hearing really strong earth-like qualities. They're telling me somebody that moves really slow in some cases, but that might be you too. But I was hearing about a house call, like when I was just dealing, I actually heard the words house call. That's what I heard. And they were talking to me about somebody that was obsessed, is what I was hearing. And this is a card that actually came out of the deck. It wasn't even a specific part of your reading, but anytime that happens, it's like Spirit saying, no, this is what they need to know. And at least in my book, regardless of what Jacob thinks. And so this King of Swords character flew out. In some cases, that could be any of y'all. You know, this is a person that's got strong swords in their chart, so it could very well be, you know, any person that's, you know, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I'm going to say irrespective of gender, this is a general reading here. They're talking to me about somebody that, like, can't stand it, though. I'm seeing somebody that can't freaking stand it. There's this third party here that's, like, looking in on what's going on with this couple, you know? And I'm just, like, hearing about somebody that's been, like, trying to watch and, like, get in on it, and they're saying it's obsessed. And it was funny because, like, this was a pop out, right? And also what had popped out, I had to put some of them back in the deck. In the same deck, the Tarot of Sexual Magic, there is literally a picture of a guy that's, like, over this woman, and he's like fiending over her, and he's got, like, a strand of her hair, and he's, like, cutting it, and he just looks like he's just, like, really obsessed with her. It's the Nine of Pentacles card in that deck, and the Nine of Swords card also flew out, which is kind of like your nightmare card in you know, your regular style decks. It's the person that's up in bed with all the swords in their neck, and they're like, oh, they can't sleep. And then the thing is, in this deck, there's also, like, this black cat that's, like, walking by. And I was just hearing about, like, people that just, like, find little sneaky ways to, like, show up and, like, perpetrate, is what I was hearing. And what was really bizarre is that in addition to all of that, the Queen of Swords, which is, you know, this is the King of Swords, also popped out. And so we're hearing about, like, in some cases, like, a partner finding out about something. And I actually heard about an intercepted love letter, is what I heard. They said love letter intercepted is what they said. And I asked for a little bit more information, and Archangel Gabriel gave us a song called Love Game by a group called Shakedown. And the words I kept hearing is, love is a game, I won't feel no shame. And so they're saying for some people, I was hearing about, like, cuckolding situation. You may or may not know what that is. It's like a situation where one or both partners in a coupling will, like, onlook while the other one is, you know, maybe doing something kinky with somebody else. So in some cases, you know, that might be, you know, why I was seeing three parties or something, even though there's only two in this deck. But they were saying in some cases that the real thing is about, you know, some partnerships that were, like, splitting. I'm hearing about crossroads and, like, third parties that can't stand it, and unrequited love. And they're talking to me about, just the price that people pay in karmic relationships. And I was hearing the number 6 might be really important for some people. And if you look into numerology with more of like an Eastern flair, like Asian, Eastern philosophy, the 6s, when you see them repetitively, as I've been seeing them, has a lot of implication in like financial gain, stability gain. And in some cases, they're talking about that being the result of certain karma that's being released within relationships, where I'm hearing that somebody actually was kind of like set free, and they're talking about birds of a feather to me again, but I'm hearing that it's going to be a really good time to get in touch with, the things that are like your fiery passion that actually are driving you towards your true north. And if you're not aware of what that is right now, I'm just getting so many implications for people to really do some investigating into your own natal constitution. They're saying for air tribes, it's very important right now to get in touch with your north node, and your north node placement is going to tell you a lot about where your karmic relationships have originated from, and why you're on a certain path, especially if it's like, a victory that came, but it was just like you kind of had to just like burn just to get there. And so, they're saying in a lot of cases, it's all about karmic relationships. And so you want to look into this, and they're talking to me again about unrequited love. And so I'm hearing for some of y'all that might be a case right now, and just to be really honorable with the things that you're doing and making sure that you're taking the steps that feel good and not crossing paths with people that you actually care about, that are actually your alliances and allegiances. And they're saying sometimes, I was hearing about paranoia, and so they were saying in some cases that's maybe what this is. I was seeing like somebody being really paranoid and kind of like, trying to like zoom in, and they're just saying be careful with that. In some cases I was hearing about, that onlooker, and it would be amiss of me not to mention that for some of you, and you're going to know if this is the case or not. So I'm not saying that you have somebody that's like trying to like speak things onto you, but in some cases they're showing me people that are watching, that are very jealous, and in some cases that if they have a tendency to practice esoteric arts that might be like trying to like send negativity onto somebody. They're showing me somebody like trying to cast spells, and I'm just seeing a really deceptive kind of tactic. They're showing me somebody just kind of like sneaking in there, but I keep seeing this big hand like going and like smacking it away. And so in some cases, you're going to know if that's the case or not, but they're just saying that now is a really good time to do cleansing. Full moons are always a really good time to just clean things up, because a lot of things come to light, and then it's just like, hey, you know what? We know it's been making us feel victorious and good, and sometimes you just got to light a match on some of the stuff in the past, and in some cases, it's going to be turning somebody down that might come back. I did hear House Call. They were telling me obsessed, and then when all that stuff was going on with the Knight of Pentacles and hair cutting and like the Nightmare card with the black cat walking by, I just saw like this whole image, and I started hearing that song. And this is the song that came up, was Wild Horses, and there's a version that they did in it's by the Sundays, and it was in a movie with Reese Witherspoon and Marky Mark, and I forget what it's called, but there's a movie. It was in the 90s, and I'm trying to remember what it was called. But anyway, Reese Witherspoon gets together with, this guy that she met, and he ends up getting very obsessed with her and literally like stalking her and like following her around and like breaking into her house and like messing up some stuff with her family. And I saw all of this stuff come around, and they were saying house call. And so was just hearing for some people that it's like, I don't know. That looked pretty hectic for me. If you have somebody that's like trying to shake you down, and like follow you around and all this stuff, they were just saying now is a really good time to look at, what you might be putting out there, if this is anything that you're kind of engaging with back and forth, that you might just be enjoying it too much because it feels good. But in other cases, they were saying you might not be aware about it, and it's because there's a karmic tie with this person that might be a little bit obsessed. And we're hearing that, it has a lot to do with love. I'm hearing about unrequited love and somebody that, feels like they didn't get what they wanted, and they're trying to either, approach you or your partner is what they're saying for some people. And I'm just hearing in some cases, it's just really good to know that that's going on. And maybe just to take a look at any precautions that you need to be investigating. But, I wasn't getting like a horrible feeling. It's just that things might be coming to light about, a situation like that. And, they're showing me a lot of fire with that too. So, it's possible that you just have like fire in your chart. We've got fire and water here, but I was just really seeing a lot of like, just a whole lot of indication on just fire element, that it might have to do with somebody that's got a lot of fire, or in some cases somebody that's just really, I'm hearing, unhappy with somebody's relationship, or the fact that they've moved on to something that is very pleasurable. But I'm hearing for some of y'all it's going to be just a very sexy time too, if none of that's the case, because this energy here is super passionate. This is somebody a lot of times that's being celebrated. And so I'm being told that, if this is sounding familiar, I mean, you've got some major sexy time here. It's something that probably feels really good. And that's a really passionate card there. And they keep showing me birds of a feather. So I'm hearing for some people, it's like, this karmic relationship isn't actually karmic. It's more of like a dharma relationship, because they're showing me twin flame. And so I think for some of y'all, it's just like going to be a really magical moon. It's going to be awesome. And they're saying it's going to be like hella sexy. And just be careful like how you're doing things, because they're saying some people are like being really voyeuristic, and you might want to check my recent readings. I just did the Tarot by Tribe series for May, and I don't remember who it was coming out for. I think it might have been for Aquarius or Gemini, but there was a lot of like spying sort of energy. And, again, oh, that's weird. Okay, so I just picked up 2 cards. I just meant to pick up this one that had fallen out that I told you about. And this is weird. Okay, so what was stuck to it that I just had to turn around and look at was the Wheel of Fortune card in the Tarot Sexual Magic, and there's 3 people there. See? And I'm hearing that they're just saying somebody's getting left out. I'm seeing like some admiration here with these 2, and then it almost kind of, the way they were showing it to me, it was like this gal here was like kind of pushing this one aside with her foot. She was like, you go, So I don't know. They keep showing me all this like 3 people stuff, and that really jumped off when the cards were flying out before, and they were showing me somebody just trying to like get a piece of something. So, just pay attention to that if that's the case. But they're saying it's going to be hot and steamy for some of y'all, so I hope that's the case. Hit a brother up if I can do a personal reading for you. I'd love to do it. And take care. God bless. We'll catch you again in a couple weeks. Probably, actually, maybe about another week, because I'm going to do the mid-monthlies too. This was just a little bonus, so have a fun full moon. We'll see you again soon.